Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead on Porch Time today. We had asked in some of our previous chats that if any of y'all had any questions, and I think that's what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer a few questions, and that's what my Porch Time will be about today. I'm going to kind of go down the list. There's a few people who's asked a few questions, and I'm going to go down the list and I'm going to try to maybe clarify some of the questions that have been asked. And if any of y'all still want to ask questions, feel free in the comments down below to to ask questions, because I don't mind answering questions. It seems like as many questions as we got last time, it seems like that may be something popular with everybody. So feel free to ask the questions, and when Porch Time comes around, or the Friday chat with me and Wanda, we'll see if we can get some of these questions in. William Burnett asked, do I have a pond? No, I do not have a pond. I have a place cleared for a pond. It has a natural stream that runs out of the ground and runs off through the woods. I've had the money a couple of times to build it, but my former wife having cancer, that money had to be allocated toward that, and I never did really get the pond built. So right now what I have is it's all one big hog pen right now. So the pigs stay down there, and they mainly keep the weeds from coming back up in the holler, and they just keep it rooted up, and they keep it nothing but just a running stream down through there now. It's just dirt and a running stream. So at some point in the future, I hope to be blessed enough to be able to afford to build a pond again, because it's pretty expensive to do, and I have the valve system to go in it and all the PVC pipes for the drain systems and all that. All that's been bought. I'm just waiting on, the money to be able to actually do the pond building itself. New Day Farm asked the question, do we have personal hobbies that we do other than our chores? I used to have hobbies. I used to travel all over the country. I used to hunt a lot. I used to fish a lot. I was a big-time archer. I started when I was very small. My father would take me and we would go armadillo hunting with recurve bows when I was just a small kid. And from that point on, I took up archery. I purchased a compound bow and began to archery hunt deer at that time. I have taken 73 deer with a bow in my life, and because I shot competition with a rifle for many years, I've killed so many deer with a gun that it really has lost its, I don't know, the thrill of shooting with a gun is just gone for me. And that was why, one of the main reasons I stuck with archery for all the years that I did, because I like the challenge of being able to get close to an animal to be able to take it, and to take it humanely. But now that I'm older, I've torn the rotator cuff in my right shoulder, and I can no longer pull a bow back. And in the future, should the Lord see fit that I could come up with a crossbow that has a crank on it, I might still take back up archery hunting for deer again. But at this point, I don't. I will kill a deer now if he comes out in the field out here, and I want it to eat. I did not last year, but the year before I took a nice deer that came out in my cornfield, so that we would have ground venison for the year. But as far as that, fishing, I used to love to fish. I used to love to do a lot of bass fishing. I used to do a lot of brim fishing and crappie fishing and catfishing. But I haven't actually fished in many, many years. Once my other wife went through 6 years of cancer, and then Wanda and I have remarried. We just really haven't got back into doing anything like that yet, because the homestead right now, taking care of it, really takes most of our time up right now. We hardly have any downtime to really go and do anything like that. So I kind of hope maybe that answers that question a little bit. It's not that we don't want hobbies, it's just that right now we're so busy that surviving and keeping some, selling some stuff to keep some bills paid is probably the #1 thing in our life right now. So we really don't take time to do a lot of hobbies right now. D. Lawhorn asked a question: how do I feel about the state of our country? This is one thing that I could go on and on and on about. One that gets on to me all the time, because this is something that is really, really, really close to me. And it was probably one of the reasons I got involved in survival. It's one of the reasons that, I'll be honest with you, it's one of the reasons I'm doing YouTube today and talking to y'all. I do feel that if you study history, history does repeat itself. And if you go back and look at all the major empires in the world, and you look at their rise and you look at their fall, look at what caused their demise, and you look at our country today, you will see that our country is no different than any major empire that's ever been on the face of the earth. We're following in the exact same footsteps that a lot of them did. And as a result, we are declining in a lot of ways. And I like to attribute it to the snowball effect. You know, several years ago, the snowball was kind of small, so it had to roll a lot before it actually picked up any speed. And now that there's so many things going wrong in our country, whether it be, you know, housing or fuel prices or, you know, government or whatever, that's all going wrong right now, that snowball is really, really big now. And once it gets big, it rolls a lot faster. And in my opinion, the decline of the country is happening at a lot more rapid pace now than it was, say, 20 years ago. I do a lot of research into how things, you know, function in countries, and I do know that every 7 years the stock market usually has a really bad drop. You know, that's proven itself throughout the history of this country. I look at other countries and what's going on with them, because we're not really a sovereign nation anymore. We're more or less tied up into a global economy, and whatever goes on in the rest of the world also affects us. That's why I'm doing YouTube today, because it's not the only reason I'm doing it. It's one of the reasons. The main reasons I'm doing YouTube is to glorify God. I want God to get the glory out of what I'm doing on YouTube. That's my first objective, is that. Secondly, is I know where this country is headed, because it's following the path of all other empires, and because of the things that I've learned in my life, I want to be able to share them with y'all, so that in the event that some sort of a life-changing event takes place, whether it be a natural disaster, whether it be man-made disaster, whether it just be the simple fact that the economy collapses or whatever, and people don't have anything to eat or they don't know how to survive, that is my goal to my subscribers out here, is to just sit down and have this time with y'all and be able to look eye to eye with you and say, you know what, if this happens, then this is what you can do. If you're hungry, then these are some options you might have. This is how you plant a seed. This is how you care for that seed and that plant. This is how you harvest it. This is how you store it. You know, those are things that I've lived for the last 30 to 40 years of my life. That's the life I've lived. And because of all the knowledge I've learned from it, it is my desire to share it with y'all, so that y'all won't have to learn the hard way like I did. If I can show you some shortcuts and I can make things easier for you, then that is my desire. And out of that, I want God to get the glory. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, that's how I feel about it. And that's basically some of my feelings on the state of this country and the state that we're in. I do think we're in trouble. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not one of these kind of people who works off of fear with people. I don't believe in throwing scare tactics out. I just believe in being honest and straightforward and saying what I believe. I'm not saying I am 100% accurate. I do think I'm real close on a lot of things. And if it's something doesn't go the way I think it should go, then you know what? I don't mind somebody telling me you made a mistake. Because you know what? I would rather be prepared and nothing happen than something happen and not be prepared. That's just the way I look at life. If I go through my whole life and nothing ever happens and I'm always prepared, then I'm okay. But if I go through my life and I get to a point and a life-changing event takes place and I'm not prepared, then me of all people, I'm a fool. So, and that's just the way I look at life. So, I hope that maybe answers your question on that just a little bit. I could sit here and go really, really deep into a lot of things, but I don't feel like it's necessary at this point. I just think that that's probably the easiest way to answer that question without getting too controversial with a lot of things. Dawn Scott asked the question, would I travel and go places during these times that we live in? And what's my thoughts on that? That's a real tricky question, because it's easy with that question to get caught up into fear. I personally don't travel and go a lot of places anymore. I used to travel all over this country, and it is a great country. It's beautiful. Now I don't travel anymore. Just simply because there are a lot of threats out there, and I'm not scared. It's not that I'm scared of the threats. It's on my homestead now. I have animals. I have daily responsibilities here that pretty much says I have to be here every day to take care of my homestead now. But to be perfectly honest with you, if I did not have the animals, I still would not be rambling all over the country anymore. Because to me, things are just a little uncertain right now. And if I was to go somewhere, I would have my bug out bag with me in the vehicle, just simply because I think it's just the right thing to do. It's not, I hate to use the word bug out bag, because I personally am not going to bug out to anywhere. I am where I'm going to be bugged out to. Let's call it a survival pack. I would carry my survival pack with me so that I have everything with me I need to survive for X number of days to kind of help me maybe get somewhere. I think that, you know, if a person wants to travel, I don't have any problems with that. I think if that's what they want to do, then that's fine with them. I think it's probably as safe as it's going to be right now. It's just that due to my age, due to my health, I just don't feel like it's the best thing to do right now for me to be up and traveling all over the country. No other reason than that for me, other than just my age and my health and the responsibilities of the homestead here. You know, if someone else wants to travel and they think that they have the capacity to do it, you know, more power to you. With me, I would say that if I'm trying to homestead, I think rather than spend my money traveling, I probably would want to put it into my homestead and get prepared as quickly as possible, because I really don't think that we're that far away from something happening in this country. It's like a lot of people say, I can't put my finger on it, I know it's there. God's laid it on my heart, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. And I have heard numerous people make that same statement. So I don't think everybody's wrong. Lottie Faith wants to know, how can we find like-minded people in our area? Now, me personally, I know where a lot of y'all live because I do check my subscribers and I do see what part of the country you're from or what country you're from. But I do understand where Lottie's coming from because I have helped a lot of people on my channel get connected with other people in their area that's like-minded. And that's one thing I do is try to connect people up. I don't do it without first talking to someone, because some people just don't want people to know where they are. They don't want people bothering them, and I respect that 100%. But there's just numerous people who have asked me, I want somebody in my area that's like-minded because I feel like I'm just all alone. If you feel that way, then I would like for you to do me a favor, and in the comments below, I would like for you to put what state you're from so that other like-minded people that's looking for someone in that same state maybe can link up with you and help to build this channel. Because I'm going to tell y'all the honest to goodness truth, my desire is to grow my channel, and not only to grow it for my sake, but I want to grow my channel for my viewers' sake, because I want y'all to be able to link up with one another and find people in your area so that in the event a life-changing event takes place, then there's people that's like-minded that you know of that's close to you. And I would encourage y'all as my subscribers, if you don't mind, you don't have to put the town, you don't have to put anything like that, your address or anything, but if you want to put what state you're from because you're interested in finding like-minded people and other people can see that state and they go, hey, I'm from the same state, maybe y'all can hook up and maybe we can start growing this channel and we can all become one really big close-knit family, because that's my desire, people. That is what I want on this YouTube channel, is for everybody to just be kind of like the Bible says, for everybody to be like-minded and in one accord, and we're all headed in the same direction and we're all looking to help one another. That's my goal, you know, and that's all I'm going to say today is that's where my heart's at. That's my goal. I love all of y'all. I appreciate every comment y'all make. I mean, there's good comments, there's bad comments. Hey, I take them all. You know what? I enjoy all of them. And I really appreciate y'all. I want to tell y'all that I just really, really mean that from the depths of my heart. Thank y'all so much. And thank you from Deep South Homestead.